Hello everybody. Wow, I am terrible at this. I really am. I'm still trying to get used to it. It has been just bedlam leading up to Christmas, and for you I am hoping to get some vlogs posted before you see this one. Oh, yep, there we go. Before you see this one, I'm hoping to get some other ones posted. So it probably won't actually seem that long to you, but it has actually been a few weeks. Sorry, I'm just about to set you down. I'm just gonna see if I can tilt you up a little bit. Yeah, so it has actually been a couple of weeks since I filmed and definitely edited, vlogged, uploaded, all of that. It's just been crazy in the lead up to Christmas, like absolutely insanely crazy. And because of my son, we have a lot of medical appointments for him. So pretty much back to back every week, we have at least 3 to 4 medical appointments every single week. So that really sort of drains me dry of the will to live a lot of the time. And then in between that, then I also have a 3-year-old who takes a lot of my energy as well. She is luckily in daycare several days a week. But that just takes a lot of energy. And then obviously when you're kind of like talking about the run up to Christmas and you're decorating, present shopping, wrapping, and just sort of generally trying to be merry when you're hanging on by a thread with your mental health, that's where we're at. So I'm going to move you because I actually have to like sit funny if you're there. I did actually just wanted to start this vlog for this week. I am still planning on uploading on Fridays because that is just easier for me. You know what, actually, I'm gonna sit down here while I just give you a little bit of a chit chat and a little bit of a catch up. So yeah, I am still planning on uploading on Fridays because that is just easier for me. My daughter's in daycare and it's a little bit easier when you've only got one child instead of 2. So I'm going to be uploading on Fridays still. As I said, I think I have one vlog that is a bit of a mismatch of a couple of weeks that I'm going to just sort of put all together and upload all together. And then I really, really want to get back into the habit of doing it once a week because I really enjoy filming it. I really enjoy documenting our day-to-day, but I've just got to actually get into the habit of getting comfortable, picking up the camera, remembering to pick up the camera, and just sort of getting out there and putting it out there and just, you know, making it part of my daily routine. So that's kind of where we've been kind of disappearing into the rabbit hole of having a medically complex baby. In the last couple of weeks, my son has been working with Cerebral Palsy Alliance quite closely because he's very high risk for cerebral palsy. So we've been working really, really closely with them and seeing them very frequently to try and get him started on his programs. And whilst that has been really good, it's also been very, very intense. And there is a good likelihood that he will be diagnosed with cerebral palsy at some point. Most likely at this point, it's looking like it will be either category 1 or 2, so he will be able to walk, but we don't know how that will look, whether he'll need to have assistance, so whether he'll need to have walking frames or that sort of thing. So that's kind of what we're looking at. He has recently rolled over. It did take 20 minutes of like actively working on it. And then he rolled over, and since then it's been a couple of days and he hasn't really rolled since. He's been trying but hasn't really been able to do it. So we're still really working on his neck muscles and his trunk muscles to be able to make the roll happen. He is almost 7 months old, so he is technically developmentally delayed. So we are working really, really hard to try and reach some of those milestones, because when you have a medically complex baby, you never know when you're going to actually reach those milestones and how those milestones are going to look. And not only that, but like the amount of effort that has to go into reaching those milestones is just, it's phenomenal. And there are plenty of other kids that are far, far, far more disabled than my son. So I can completely understand their parents when they just celebrate everything that they possibly can. So we've kind of been, you know, dealing with that in the back of our minds. My son also went in for a procedure where they put a camera down his throat to have a look at the structure of his throat, to see if he had any issues there that would be impeding him eating and drinking. Luckily, there is no physical obstruction. It is just seems to be all muscle control. So he's struggling to coordinate the muscles. So that's just hopefully going to get better with time. But it's just another one of those challenges that he throws at us. And then at the same time, they also tested the auditory brainstem. So the nerve that runs from the ear into the brainstem to bring sounds to the brain because we are still very concerned about his hearing. Oddly enough, that came back normal. So we actually don't know why he doesn't respond to sounds. He doesn't seem to respond to any sound at all. No flickering of the eyes, no looking for noises, no jump, startle, reflex, nothing. That can be a loud noise outside of his eyesight. If he sees it, different story, because he sees you making a movement. But if he doesn't see you making that movement, so if you do it behind his, like outside of his peripheral vision, and you make a really loud noise, he has absolutely no reaction to it whatsoever. So we're still sort of investigating that one. But yeah, so it's just been a busy couple of weeks, especially in the lead up to Christmas, while all of his specialists are like go, 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 and trying to like finish all of their appointments for the year. So it's just sort of been trying to cram everything into every free second that we have. And then, like I said, you know, then throw in just the usual chaos that is Christmas. And as you can tell behind me, I did end up finishing decorating for Christmas. So I love Christmas. I really, really love it. It's interesting though, when you have kids, or for me, when I have kids, I love Christmas. I absolutely love it, but I love it in a different reason, like for a different reason when I have children. And when I was like childless, I absolutely love Christmas. I would go ham. I just enjoyed the whole season. And now that I have kids, I do still enjoy it, but I actually find it a lot more stressful, mainly because you're trying to, and it comes down to me, I'm just trying to make sure that they have really good Christmas memories, because I had really good Christmas memories. And so I put a lot of pressure on myself to try and make them good Christmas memories. And I have to keep reminding myself that my children are like only 3 and 7 months old. So yeah, there is that. But anyway, so this morning I took the kids to Bunnings, the Aussie classic. Didn't get a sausage sizzle, very disappointed, but because it is a Monday. But I ended up getting some things for my daughter to do for craft. So what we're going to do, because it's actually quite warm outside today, we're going to head outside when she wakes up from a nap. This is like a painting mat. And I'm going to just let her do some arts and craft, because she really likes arts and craft. And I got this little family doll kit as well. And it's got like a dog and a cat in it. You can see it there. It looks pretty cute. She's not going to be able to paint it anywhere near that, but she will have fun nonetheless. So I'm going to take her outside and just let her do some outside activities, because even though it's nice and warm, like all of these things are going to dry really, really quickly. So that way it just gets her out and about, because she's been very bored lately. And so obviously a 3-year-old, when they're bored, they act up. And so I'm just trying to make sure I have plenty of crafty things on hand, things she can do outside. She loves being outside, and I really like being outside with her too. The problem is obviously in an Australian summer it starts to heat up really quickly, so you don't really want to be outside in 40-degree heat. Today's not going to be 40-degree heat, but it is going to be about 32, I think it is. I think the top is 32, which is still really flaming hot. So we are going to go out there later on this afternoon and just let her do a little bit of activities. I'll have a water table so she can splash around with some water. We had a jumping castle up yesterday. We got this Amazon jumping castle for like $200 2 years ago, and it was the best thing I've ever purchased. We bring it out like every summer, all summer, and she just spends hours in it. We slap it, don't worry. So she has lots of sunscreen and has a hat on, or we put water in it and stuff so she can play around it. But it is like the best thing I ever purchased, like the best $200 I've ever spent. So anyway, so we're going to go out there later. I'll bring you with me while we do some painting and some crafting. I don't know if baby boy will be awake by then, but if he is, he can come and sit outside for a little bit too. And obviously when you have like 2 children, that's another consideration, is that the baby can't stand being out in the heat the same amount of time that everybody else can. Not that we all can stand it for very long, but he can stand it even less. So, you know, I'll just make sure he's out there for only a short amount of time. And then, yeah, that's kind of the plan for today. And then tomorrow is, or the rest of the week actually, is a daycare day. And then we've just got doctor's appointments back to back to back to back. So I think tomorrow is free. So we'll just be doing some little bits and pieces. And then Wednesday, I might actually go Christmas shopping tomorrow. And then Wednesday is a speech pathologist, and I have a discovery call. If you didn't know, I run my own business and I'm still trying to do that. So somebody's reached out to potentially get my services. So I have that on Wednesday. Then on Thursday, we have his pediatrician. And then on Friday, I believe we have his sleep team. So it's just all happening, always happening. But yeah, so I just thought I would quickly film this. I also found my old vlogging camera, which is what I'm filming on at the moment, and I'm very happy that I found it. So I have that up and running now, so that will be good. I won't clog up my phone as much. But yeah, so that's what we're going to do, and at some point I'm going to edit the vlogs that I need to upload, so I can upload them and then upload this one. And then I also have my birth story as well for my son to upload, because I just think people find that sort of stuff interesting, and I know I would find it interesting, especially if I started watching someone who had a medically complex child. Like, I really like hearing the story and how they kind of got to where they're at. So I really need to edit that, because in some instances it's almost already out of date because things have happened since I recorded it. And so yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, so that's what we're up to, and I will bring you along as best as I can for the week. Probably lots of Christmas shopping, maybe some Christmas markets if I can find some that are not like hectically busy and not insanely crazy, and we might try and go along to that sort of stuff. So we will just see. Again, trying to make those memories, you know. I would love to bake some gingerbread biscuits, but I really don't know if I have the mental capacity to get at that. But I did want to show you, my partner found me a Hogwarts advent calendar. Every year he tries to find me some sort of Harry Potter advent calendar. And some years are a pass and many years are a fail. This one's actually not too bad. It's a stationary calendar though, and I'll just show you what it looks like, because when you open it, it actually looks really, really nice. Like, this is what it looks like on the inside. This is like visually probably one of the most impressive calendars he's gotten me so far. And so it's had like a pencil in it. It's had a couple of little books, which are like little story books. Some of them are Christmas recipes, and another one is like all of the ghosts at Christmas at Hogwarts or something like that. It's had some paper clips in it. I think this one had a pin in it from memory. I'm just trying to remember. I don't think I've actually done the last couple of days, so I might just do them on the camera here. So I think I've got number 7. So I haven't, yeah, I've got 7 and 8 to do, I think. Oh, there you go. A nice little like Christmas wooden ornament. I used to have a Harry Potter tree that I would decorate every year, and then when the mice came through, they destroyed a lot of my Harry Potter decorations, and I was absolutely devastated. And this house is a lot smaller than my old house, and so I don't have enough room to, even though I could put one in my study, but I'm very rarely out there at the moment, so I would feel very silly putting up a whole tree in there that would get seen like maybe once a month. So anyway, but either way, that's like a really nice little wooden ornament. And then also number 8. Oh, this feels, what's this? Oh, some stickers. Oh, that's interesting. They're webcam cover stickers. That's very interesting that they would put that as like a themed thing. Wow, what do you know? But there's an idea of what's in it, you know. These things are always a little bit hit and miss, and I just enjoy the giggles, you know. So we will get on with the day. Now that both kids down, I got both kids down. I don't think you understand how incredible that is. I got both kids down to sleep at the same time. So, and they're sleeping in the same room. Even better. So now that they're down, I'm actually going to pump, because it's the time that I can do it like in peace. I also have to clean my son's feeding machine, and then have some lunch myself, because when the kids get up, I never get any time to have lunch, because it's always, what are you eating? And then they want to eat it too, and then you hardly get anything. So I'm going to make myself some lunch, going to pump, and probably watch a little bit of trash TV, because realistically I've only got maybe an hour and a half before the hordes descend again. Would you like to use maybe some of these?
Yeah.
This is what Auntie Ashley got you, huh? So let's crack into this.
Oh, careful.
And you
want to
can
put that in your
use
face.
some of this on your stitch thing there.
Do you want to wash your brush in the water? Mix, 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 mix,
in the
mix,
little
mix,
bucket.
mix, mix. Make sure all the red's off it.
There's lots
Mix,
of
mix, 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 mix. Mix, 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 mix.
Oh wow.
Have a look. Oh yeah, that's pretty good.
Well, I wanted to get some of that one-shot thick toilet cleaner.
Yeah.
So we got it, but it was just...
White.
You want white. Remember, dry it on here? That's a girl. And that was fine, and then we had like several cars cutting us off, doing really silly things. And so Penny was like, I'm gonna tell Elfie that they don't get Christmas presents because they're cutting mummy off. Because I was getting really cross because like dangerously cutting off. So like at Bunnings as we're going past the trade entrance.
Yeah.
So we've got the right of way, and then this truck decides that he just wants to go straight into the trade entrance. So he just flatbeds it straight through like a T in a section without stopping, without giving way, nothing. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, what is wrong with you, people? Are you done? Oh, it's
Beautiful.
beautiful. Look at that. Oh, that's so pretty. Do you want to do another one, or do you want to do your canvas?
I want to do another one.
You want to do another one? Okay.
I want to do
Which one?
this one.
That one? Okay. Give me a minute. Let me
Want a
just
different lot of colours.
let me just lay this out so it can dry. Because we've got a baby bucket under there. Alright, so I'll just lay it out on this mat actually so it can dry.
Daddy,
Oh, that's
He
good.
is sleeping, yeah. What do you want me to do? Like, do that?
oh,
Oh, everywhere? Like that?
yeah.
Good morning, everybody. I know yesterday I said I was going to end up going shopping today and do some Christmas shopping and kind of like cross it off and get it finished. It is 39 degrees today. So, the little elves inside my head unanimously voted fuck not today. And so we've decided to stay home. So I have taken my daughter to daycare and made sure that she knows to drink her water, to slip, slop, slap when she's out in the sun. And we are just going to stay home, my son and I, and stay out of the heat because fuck that heat. We're going to stay home. So he's currently down for a nap. It is just past 12. I've already had something to eat for lunch. I've already pumped, and I am just cleaning out his feeding machine so it's ready to go for his next feed. And yeah, so I thought I would make sure I checked in because I am trying to build good content creating habits and just be like, yeah, we didn't go shopping today, but that's okay. We can go shopping on Thursday. Probably can't go shopping tomorrow, but I can go shopping on Thursday and get everything off the list. The main thing I need to do is 2 more presents for people and then my family's stockings. So I need to do my partner's, my son and my daughter's stockings. And I'm going to try the new 5-step method. I don't know if you've ever heard of it for stockings, but it is the STOCK method, where you do a I think it's a treat, no, a snack for the S. The T is a toiletries. The O is something original. The C is, what was the C? Oh my god, I can't remember. The C is something else. I'll put it up on the screen. And then the the K is then for something for kindness. So it's kind of like you get them something to eat, you get something that they need, so like hygiene, toiletries, whatever. And then you get them something for like a hobby, so something that's like a little bit quirky or something a little bit different. And then you get them something for like an artsy crafty thing, and then I think that's probably what the C is meant to be, craft maybe. And then the K is supposed to be something for kindness, so something that you're doing for them to do for themselves. So that could be something like a pamper thing, it could be, you know, something for them to color in, or just something for them to take like 5 minutes of zen to themselves. So I'm going to employ that method when filling the stockings, because normally I just get a whole bunch of crap, or I get things that are like the funny quirky game little things that you can get from Kmart, and I still don't mind getting them, but I do want to try and get something that is perhaps a little bit more organized. So I will do that, probably do that on Thursday, because I'm already going to be out and about anyway. It's also supposed to be raining on Thursday, but I'm going to be out and about anyway to see Charlie's pediatrician. And so I just thought, you know what, if I'm already going to be out and about, I will just make it a day of being out and about, as opposed to actually trying to leave the house today in nigh on 40-degree heat and then like force myself to leave the house, and then tomorrow be out of the house for a couple of hours, and then on Thursday be out of the house for a couple of hours, and then on Friday be out of the house for a couple of hours. Because the appointments I can't really change to make it a little bit more cohesive. Can't really change that right now. But if I can change the times where I have to leave the house to make it a time where I'm already going to be out of the house anyway, that would be just a little bit more pleasant for our existence. So that's what I'm going to do. And that is why our house is currently really dark, because I'm trying to keep it as cold as possible. I've got my son Charlie is down for a nap right now, and like I said, it is currently, well, it's saying 32, but the high is going to be 36. So the highs lately don't normally hit until sort of 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon, where it'll be the hottest. Whereas usually the hottest part of the day is statistically midday, not anymore. So I'm going to just get some little householdy chores done. I have about 4 baskets of washing that need to be put away, let alone 2 or 3 that need to be done. So the washing machine is loading. I've already got a load out on the washing line, so using the Mother Nature to try and dry things. And then I just need to do a whole bunch of like folding today. I also need to do some editing and a little bit of like businessy admin. So it's just one of those days, and it's just like you mentally realize that you haven't had a day off in a very long time, and so your own mental batteries are like, "Mrr." Because when you get a chance to have a little bit of time to yourself, you're kind of running around like a blue ass fly trying to catch up on the things that you can't do when the kids are around. And then when the kids are around, you want to be active and you want to play with them, but then you're also trying to do house chores on the same time. And then for me, I'm also trying to work a little bit on the same, like in the same time frame. And then it also happens to be Christmas, which is the most chaotic part of the year. So it's just feeling like I'm probably going to have to start working at 3 AM when I'm pumping, and just trying to get a few little tasks ticked off. I don't know. But it's okay. We're going to do it, and we're going to make it a lovely season, and we're just going to soldier on. Okay, so it has been a couple of hours. I have done some more cleaning, I've done some more laundry, and I'm just going to throw on the dinner in a crock pot, because we are doing our best to actually like cook and prepare foods and have some like meal prep done. And look, we're not the best at it. We are certainly not angels, but I am trying to get better. So on tonight's menu is going to be creamy lemon chicken, and I don't know if I'll serve that with pasta or rice, not sure yet, haven't decided. And it's a little bit of an experiment, so yeah, we're just going to see how this goes. Hello everybody, you join me on a hectic morning because my son has just pulled out his NG tube mid-feed, meaning that milk has been running while he's pulled it out. So now, instead of going shopping today, we are going to the hospital so they can check if he's actually aspirated anything into his lungs. And if you're curious, yes, this is very stressful. Yes, it gives me high anxiety, and yes, I am so sick of this being a regular thing. But yeah, so that's just thrown our plans right out for the day. Yeah, great. Good times. Good times. Okay, so we've just gotten home from the hospital. We were up there for a couple of hours. It's something that I can't fault them for when I go into this hospital they take pediatric sort of things very, very quickly and very, very well. So I can't really fault them for that. We didn't wait very long at all. We were sort of triaged within a couple of minutes, and then within less than 5 minutes we were taken out the back. So they did a x-ray on him just to make sure that he hadn't aspirated anything. Luckily he had not. And since I last recorded that clip that you just saw, he actually scratched up his face really, 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 really bad. When he had pulled everything out, the skin underneath all of his tubes is so damaged and broken and really struggling that it basically tore, like, so this whole section, it basically has torn holes and tears all through it. So when I went back to check on him to get him ready to go to the hospital, yeah, darling, when I went back to check on him, his whole face was smeared in blood, his hands were smeared in blood. It was one of the most terrifying things I've ever seen in my life. So the doctors have all had a good look at that and just had a look at the skin and like agree that the skin is really, really, really delicate. It's like paper thin. So we are now going to be talking about doing a peg line. I know, darling, I know. We're now going to be talking about doing a peg line for him, so we're hopefully going to get put in touch with a surgeon to be able to do that. So, because he's pulling it out too much. Yesterday he pulled it out 3 times, and this morning he's obviously pulled it out during the feed again, and so the more he pulls it out, the more irritated everything can get, and it increases the risk that when I'm placing it, I might place it incorrectly, place it into the lungs. I can irritate things as I'm trying to place it and can actually cause scarring, and he will also like increase the chance of him actually aspirating during a feed and significantly aspirating more milk each time. So he's just not very happy at the moment. So as you can hear, I don't think he feels very well. So yeah, instead of going Christmas shopping today, we've now just come home from the hospital, and it's just going to be a quiet day. Okay, my baby needs me, so I'm going to go give him cuddles and snuggles and hopefully get him down for a really nice long nap. And we will see if we can get out and do Christmas shopping tomorrow after his cerebral palsy appointments. But this is the life of a medically complex baby. Your plans just go to shit. That was a long night. I know the lighting is not the best at the moment, but it's 3 o'clock in the morning, so basically Charlie was very unhappy all night. He spiked a fever. The highest it got to, I gave him some Panadol when he hit 38.5. He was very sweaty. He was very uncomfortable, very cranky, just a lot of crying, and my baby doesn't cry. He hardly ever cries. So lots of crying. He wanted lots of cuddles, so he obviously doesn't feel very well. And we ended up speaking to his pediatrician because after today he went and spoke to a general surgeon, and they're putting in an urgent review for him to have a peg surgery. If you don't know what the peg surgery is, it's similar to the NG, which is the tube that goes in his nose to feed him, and it goes into his tummy, except that the tube will come out of his actual stomach. Instead of going into his nose, it will have a surgery and it will actually come out of the stomach. So it's like a direct line straight into the stomach instead of going up and through the nose. Hopefully that would lessen the risk of him ripping it out, obviously. And you know, he wouldn't be able to actually grab it, and it would give his face a break, because the damage to his face is pretty bad after yesterday. He's got lots of breaks on the skin, and there's just risk of infection, and there's risk that he'll scar, and just risk that he'll just constantly cause trauma to his face if he keeps ripping it out. So there's an urgent review in. He's already spoken to a general surgeon at the children's hospital about doing the procedure, and she agrees that he should have it done before he's 1 year old. So we're going to hopefully get in to see her next week. So things are moving very quickly there. And obviously that doesn't mean that the surgery will happen like within a week, but just the fact that we're getting in to see her hopefully really, really quickly is a good sign that maybe we can just do something that's as scary as a surgery is. It would mean that long term it's safer for him to have it in. So hopefully that will happen. But he was just really sad, the poor little bugger. Like, he did like the little, like, you know, crying with like the lip out and the little quivering, and you know, it was just, he was so sleepy, like he was so lethargic. When I got home yesterday about 1 o'clock, and that clip, the last clip that you saw where I said that he was, you know, my baby needed me, I was going to go give him cuddles, that was about 1 o'clock-ish. I basically put him down to bed and he was sleeping the rest of the afternoon. He woke up at about 5:10 when I had to get him up to go get his sister from daycare. He was awake for about 15 minutes and then fell asleep in the car on the way to daycare. And then when I got him home, he was awake for about 45 minutes, because when we got to daycare, he woke up when I got him out of the car. He was awake. We came home, he was still awake. But then within like 5 minutes of us being at home, he wanted to go back to sleep. And that's not normal for my baby. That's actually really quite lethargic and like really tired. Normally he does have good hours, like, you know, sort of a 2 to 3 hour sleep, like in the daytime, like blocks. But not like this. He can always last a few hours between being awake, but this was like not even an hour and he wanted to go back down. So I know he's not feeling very well, and that always breaks your mama heart when your baby's not well. So he's asleep at the moment. I've just checked his temperature and it's starting to climb back up a little bit. So he's in the last time I took his temperature a couple of minutes ago was 37.6. So it's starting to go back up. So I'm going to pump and then go in and check on him again, and take his temperature again and just see what's happening. But yeah, I just, another thread of sanity snaps. It is the next morning. Baby boy is still feeling very, very tired, and it is absolutely bucketing down. But we have no choice this morning. We have to go Christmas shopping because we're running out of time, and I really don't like being the person who's in the shops right before Christmas, because that is just pandemonium and I refuse to be part of it. So we are rugging up and we're going to head out and try and do some Christmas shopping before he has an appointment, and then just do the best we can. And basically, if I don't get it today, I'm Amazoning it, whatever. I'm going to order it online. So that is the plan. Like I said, it is absolutely bucketing down outside. I don't know if you'll actually be able to hear it or not, but it is really, really, really wet. So I am just very quickly doing a little bit of makeup so I don't look quite so dead on my feet, and then we will be out the door. And like I said before, my mission is just to, I don't need to buy the kids anything for Christmas. I've already got all of that. But I do need to get stockings, and I need to get 1 or 2 things for other people, and then my Christmas shopping is done. So I need to do stockings for my family, and I'm going to use the stock method. So I think I said this in a previous clip, but it's the one where it is a snack, a toiletry, and then something as a hobby, something crafty, and then something like fun and unique or something like that. So I will put up the acronym on the screen as we're going, and I've got a list so I know what I'm looking for. And yeah, we will see how much we can get done. I'm planning to go to a shopping centre that has Big W, Kmart, Coles, Woolies, like all of that, so I shouldn't have to leave it, so I don't have to like get in and out of the rain constantly. But we will see how effective that ends up being, and we'll just go from there. So I've come into Coles to get it started, and I feel like everybody sleeps on Coles to get these things, like in their special like seasonal section. because they've got some really awesome ornaments and like bubbles and toys and like gifts. Like, check this out. Like, you've got Bluey ornaments, like Disney ornaments, World's Best Boss. There's a bloody Wicked ornament, a Mickey ornament. There's a bloody Joy. And there's like all these games and toys and decorations, like heaps of Grinch things as well, like these cube things. There's PJs, stubby holders, mugs, games, lights. So if you haven't checked it out, you should probably check it out. They've got some good stuff here. Oh, God, the nostalgia. To get these, I think we even got snakes and ladders. Yes. And then of course you have all of your Christmas treats. These look bombs, so I'm gonna have to get some of those. And then you can get them like separated as well. Freeze-dried sour. Ooh. Good morning, guys. It is very early in the morning. It is about 6 o'clock in the morning. I am up so early because baby boy and I have to make our way into the children's hospital this morning for an appointment. I can't remember the last time that I updated you with everything, so I'm just gonna tell you again, and if I have already said this in a previous clip, then I'll just edit it out. But basically, last week, Charlie ended up pulling out his NG tube yet again during a feed, so that was a quick trip to hospital. But what he also ended up doing was he scratched up his face really, really bad. So when I came in the room, he had blood everywhere, like everywhere. All over his hands, nose, smeared all over his face, into his hair. Like it was a lot. It was a lot to see first thing in the morning. So we had to go to the hospital for them to check whether or not some of his milk had actually aspirated into his lungs, which it most likely did, because he started to get a fever and was coughing a lot, so we gave him some antibiotics. But because of that, his pediatrician who met us in emergency was like, you know, have you ever heard of something called the PEG? So luckily it was actually on a day where we were supposed to see his pediatrician anyway. So I was going to talk to him about the PEG, and he just said, you know what, I think this is an option for your son, because he is going to be pulling it out even more now that he's trying to learn to roll, and he's just doing a little bit more movement, and it's just much riskier. So the problem is though, is that they normally do not do the PEG surgery until the child is over 1, and my son has just turned 7 months. So he was like, leave it with me, I will see. I know a couple of surgeons and I will see. There's one I have in mind. And basically later that night he rang me and said that she's willing to see you in room. She agrees that this is probably a good option. Can you see her next week? And so we've just been waiting until they called us for an appointment, and she called us late yesterday, so like 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon, to say, can you come by 8 a.m. tomorrow? So yeah, that is just how quickly days can change around here, where 1 minute you've got a plan for a day. Luckily we were already having to go into the children's hospital today because he has an appointment with their brain rehab clinic, so like physio and occupational and stuff. So we were already going to be in there, but we weren't going to have to be in there until a lot later. So I'm getting ready. So basically he has an accepted review for an urgent PEG surgery, so hopefully they're going to be able to get it done fairly quickly. Obviously we are like just over a week out of Christmas, and I'm definitely not expecting anything to happen before then, but I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that maybe something in January could open up, and so he could get it done in January. So it is Tuesday. He pulled it out last Thursday, and he has pulled it out 4 times since then. So he's pulling it out a lot. it's just really stressful. I feel like I can't leave the kid for more than 10 seconds and he pulls it out. So it'll be nice for him to have an option that it's not taped up to his face, so his little face can get a break. And so yeah, we're just sort of manically, I'm sort of manically running around trying to just get ready and just get everything prepared for this appointment. And so yeah, it's a big day of appointments now, and then Thursday is another big day of appointments, which was already going to be a big day anyway, but now it's a big day again. So yeah, that's kind of what we've been up to. So I haven't really vlogged much in the last couple of days because we've just sort of been preparing for this kind of hectic week, and we've got some family Christmas this weekend as well, so sort of been running around like a headless chicken trying to do all that. Oh, yep, this is just beautiful, isn't it? Anyway, I've got you on my phone just because it's easier to bring a phone when vlogging than a camera. But we are at the Children's Hospital. We've just met his surgeon. She was absolutely divine. She was so, so lovely. She agrees that he needs the peg surgery and he needs it sooner rather than later. She actually said to me, like, how about tomorrow? What are you doing tomorrow? I have a cancellation. But unfortunately, because he has a little bit of a cough from his aspiration last week, that was a no-go, because obviously he can get pneumonia, and I really don't feel like spending Christmas in the children's ICU. So not going to be tomorrow, most likely end of next month, which it's a while away, but also at the same time things need to be organized, and she's hoping she can get us in faster than that. But I was really, really happy with her. She was really lovely, and she explained all of the benefits and the risks and how it's going to work and what his life will look like while he has it in, and you know, that we would get connected in with a gastronomy nurse, I think that's how you say it, and she would teach us how to take care of it and do all the things, and how the risks of it leaking and how you clean it and take care of it and all that sort of stuff. So a lot of information, but I really, really appreciated the way she explained everything. She definitely wasn't trying to sell the peg as a silver bullet, but she thinks with my concerns and the risk of aspiration happening more frequently, and the fact that he's pulling it out, and when we're aspirating him sometimes we're getting a little bit of blood, so there's obviously some little like nicks and scarring and stuff happening, that the peg is probably going to be the better option. So that's one appointment down. Now we're just in like a parent's room, so I'm about to start pumping, and then we have his rehab appointment in about an hour and a bit, and he's fallen asleep, which is good, so he can hopefully be nice, bright, awake, refreshed for his therapy. So 1 down, 3 to go.